Alright, so this video will cover cash budgeting, and I'll just outline why a company should make a cash budget and what is involved under cash budget. So the first thing that we have to know is that a cash budget is prepared for two purposes. One, so that we have a consolidated amount of cash, okay, and then two, we just consider cash items only. In the cash budget, we only consider cash items only, meaning that anything that was being taken on credit will not appear in the cash budget until it is paid for in cash. All right, so it won't appear here until we receive it in cash, or when the people say we are going to receive cash in this particular month after selling that particular good. That's when we're going to record the transaction in the cash budget. So I have a question on the cash budget that I want us to do. I hope it's going to help you guys. So the question reads, the following information relates to the activities of FNL Limited for the period January to June 2014. Then we have note 1 says sales, but please let's also take note. We have sales units here, okay, sales units of that much each and every month and the total. And then they're saying the selling price per unit of product is 150 per unit, okay. Then the production is estimated at, okay, so the fastest way of us to calculate this is if we go note by note in our workings. So let me start with note 1. I know that the madam actually told you to calculate cash budget in a certain way, but according to what we were told, I'm going to use that format, and yeah, but there is no difference whether you do what the madam told you and what I'm going to show you is still the same thing. It's just that with the madam's method, you have to write the months on each and every note, but for me I'm going to write it once because of space, and then we are going to do some relations in there. So I know that the months are starting from January, okay, then we have Feb, we have March, and April, May, and June. Okay, I'm not going to put the total. So we are doing our workings now. So the first thing that they've told us in the question is that we have these cells, and then each of them is 150. So if each and every cell is 150, remember they've said those were sales units. If we combine the sales times the price, gives us sales revenue, isn't it? So we have sales revenue, so to which when we multiply we have 150. I'm going to remove the zeros too, the last zero, so that we have enough space. So we have 150, we have 900, we have 750, we have 300, we have 975 there, and we're going to have 1200 in our last column. So the reason why I'm not putting zeros is because of the space, so please bear with me. Okay, so we are done with note 1. And then note 2 says production is estimated at 110% of sales for each month and is carried out in the month before the expected sale. Okay, before selling this, we must produce these units prior to the month that we are selling them at. So this means that this 110% of the sales is not on sales revenue, but is on the sales units. So we're going to find 110% of 1,000, 6,000, 5,000, 2,000, 6,000, 500, 8,000, and we are going to place them a month before. So if this is going to come a month before, then we are saying, let's start with December. So we're going to include December just here. Okay, and let me just do this. Let me just erase something here. But also remember that this is our sales revenue. This is our sales revenue, so don't forget that. So I'm going to include December so we do our workings faster. So the production was at 110%, which to be done proud. So which means the first one we're going to have, instead of writing 1100, I'm just going to write 1.1. Okay, sorry for that. 1.1, and then 6.6. We're saying we're removing the last three zeros. So 5.5. How am I removing the last zeros? I'm just dividing anything that I calculate by 1,000. Then 2.2, 7.15, 8.8, and nothing in June, because we are saying this will be produced a month prior to a month of sale. After that, we must also look at the next note. The next note says production cost is made up of the direct materials, direct labor, and production overheads. And then fourth says, so this is just telling you what the costs, okay, the production and the cost attached to the production. Okay, so the direct material costs 20 kwacha per unit. Okay, 20 kwacha per unit produced. How much was produced? Whatsoever we calculated in O2. Okay, so 20 kwacha. So we want to calculate our direct unit. But before that, let's just look at what the question was saying. So 20 kwacha per unit, direct wages are 12 kwacha per unit. Then production overhead is estimated at 6 kwacha per unit produced. Then direct materials are, before you actually enter this detail, you have to know if there's any other detail that is directed to direct materials or wages or anything. So direct materials are on note 5. Direct materials are paid for 2 months before production, while wages and overheads are paid for in the month of production. Okay, so remember that production starts in December, right? So meaning that whatsoever we're producing in December, we're going to multiply that by 12 with direct wages, and then 6 for overheads respectively. And then, but for direct materials, they've said 2 months before production. Production was starting in December and not January. This is just the units that they're expected, we expect to sell. But production starts in January, so whatsoever we produce in January will be catered for in October. Okay, so now this time around we're going to start everything from October, because they've said 2 months. Okay, 2 months, 2 months, yeah, 2 months before production. So quickly we're going to add something else, which is November and October, and then we're going to multiply with the direct costs. So if we multiply with the direct costs, you find out that okay, so you find out that it's done 2 months, so meaning that we start in October. In October we'll have 2.2. We say 20 kwacha, so 1.1 times 20, we'll have 22 rather. So we'll have 22 in October. In November we'll have 132. Then December we'll have 110. Okay, I'm going to arrange this nicely when I create my final cash budget. Okay, so and then in Feb, in Feb we're going to have 44. In In March we're going to have 143, and in April we're going to have 176. Then nothing in the last 3 months. Okay, so this, we said this one is for October, November, December, January, February, March. Then April, May, June is empty because of what we were given. Also remember that they've told us that direct wages were 12 kwacha. Yeah, so direct wages were 12 kwacha per unit, but then these ones, in the month that we're going to produce, is the month that we're going to actually incur these wages. So we're going to have 1.1 times 12, and we're going to follow suit. So if we do that, we're going to have 13.2 in December, and then in January we are going to have 6.6 times 12, we have 79.2. We're going to have 66, 26.4, 85.8, 105.6, and nothing there. So this is for December, January, February, March, April, May, and then June we have nothing because we didn't produce anything. According to what we can see there, we didn't produce anything in June. Also, this is what happened for direct overheads, but direct overheads were 6 kwacha, estimated at 6 kwacha. So we're going to have in December, we're going to have 1.1 times 6, which is a 6.6 in December, and then January we're going to have 39.6, 33, 130, 13.2, 42.9, 52.8, and nothing there. Okay, so considering the fact that we are still with the question, and then I'm just going to rewrite this: October, November, December, January, Feb, March, April, May, and June. Okay, so after finishing that, let's go back to our question. The question now says the selling and distribution. I think this can be read. Okay, here, selling and distribution expenses are estimated at 5% of sales revenue and are incurred a month following the month of sale. A month following the month of sale. Okay, so the first keyword is this: sales revenue. What was our sales revenue? Sales revenue here was whatsoever we had here multiplied by 150. Okay, that was our sales revenue. And they've said of this sales revenue, 5% should actually go in the month following the sale. So for example, whatsoever was for January will go in Feb, and then just like that before following suit, just like that. So we're also going to do the same. You'll discover that in January we had 150,000, to which when you multiply by 5%, so they're saying this one won't cater for these distributions in January, but we're going to cater for them in Feb, to which in Feb it will be 7.5. Okay, in March to be 45, 37.5, 15, 48.75. Okay, let me just write it here. I'm going to write everything better that way. Okay, 75, 48.775, right? And then whatsoever happened just beyond June, you're also going to cater for it, but mostly it doesn't matter here. So the next thing is they've also told us that on